For those of you who don't know, I'm actually interested in a lot of conspiracy theories. Now, I don't really consider myself a conspiracy theorist because most of the conspiracies that I actually believe in are really underreported facts or nature of government type arguments. To give you an example, when the TSA first started making people take their shoes off, and people were saying that, oh, they're making you take your shoes off because in the future they're planning to stick their hands down your pants or strip you naked. All right, and then they started talking about body scanners being in development. The body scanners being in development would be an underreported fact, and the strip you naked or stick your hands down your pants. By the way, they strip you naked with the body scanner, so they do it digitally. Would be a nature of government type argument. Thomas Jefferson believed that history shows us that government power expands while individual liberty yields. This is essentially a slippery slope argument, which I think almost always applies to government. If you let them do one thing, they'll continue to expand. And it's not actually a conspiracy theory. So those are the types that I believe. Now, there's other types that I researched that, based on the evidence, I may or may not agree with, after I get into it. But my standard for wanting to research an individual conspiracy theory is that it has to be logical. And by logical, I don't mean truthful. Because I'm just trying to, before I delve into it, you have to look into something to find out the truth. But the standard I use is it has to make sense. Like, if it doesn't make any fucking sense, then there's no reason I'm gonna go check all the facts because it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, there has to be a clear motive, somebody who benefits from it, a reason for constructing this amazing conspiracy. That being said, I want to talk about a conspiracy theory that I think is illogical. It doesn't make any fucking sense. And I'm going to conclude that it's not factual because it's fucking retarded. And that is birtherism. For those of you who don't know, birthers believe that President Obama is actually born in Kenya, and the Democratic Party covered this up during the primary because nobody, except for Hillary Clinton, a tiny bit, brought this issue up during the primary, and they used him they basically wanted to put him in power. Now, I've developed 3 amazing questions that basically debunk this conspiracy theory based on conspiratorial logic. Now, if the Democrats propped up Obama and they brought him into the Oval Office, that makes them evil, right? Most birthers would agree, yes, the Democratic Party is evil. Now, my next question is, well, my first question anyway, is if the Democrats are evil, does that mean by contrast the Republican Party is good? Now, most birthers being Republicans, I'll actually address the Democratic birthers in a little bit, even though they're a much smaller group, I don't want to call them evil. But are Republicans, so yeah, they'll say the Republicans are good, the Democrats are evil. But if the Republicans are good, why didn't President Bush reveal that then Senator Obama wasn't an American citizen when he was the president? He had this fucking amazing power because he expanded executive power throughout his administration. So the only logical answer, if you believe that Obama is not a citizen, and is to believe that George Bush covered it up. So that means the Republicans are also evil. Now, if the Democrats and Republicans are both evil and essentially they're advancing the same agenda, which I believe is true, they are advancing the same agenda. But if they're advancing the same agenda, then they're essentially a duopoly. So why would they use a foreigner to advance their agenda that anybody in the Democrat and Republican Party establishment could do? Makes no fucking sense. Why risk it? I mean, the whole idea of American politics revolves around people believing that this isn't a duopoly. So if on the off chance that President Obama actually is, if not the off chance, he's a fucking American. But on the idea that they would risk it all and somebody might find out that he's not a citizen, it would basically blow up both of this fucking 2-party fucking duopoly dynamic. Now, this basically disproves the Obama birtherism conspiracy, because if you follow it to its logical conclusion, you end up at an illogical conclusion. Now, I'm going to address Democratic birthers, and I'm going to prove them wrong, because what Democratic birthers actually believe is that the Republicans know that Obama's not a citizen, and they're actually blackmailing him into doing their agenda, because Obama's agenda is essentially George Bush's agenda. But if this was true, and the Republicans are evil, Obama good, but being blackmailed, and the Democrats good, why wouldn't the good Democrats have stopped Obama by, basically ousting this guy? It makes no sense. The only way for this conspiracy to work is for you to come to the conclusion that both parties are evil and working together. And if both parties are evil and working together and control everything, there would be no need to have a foreigner in the office. It's too big of a risk. This is basically how I debunked the Barack Obama birther conspiracy theory. No factual information at all, just following it to its logical conclusion. Not even worth researching, kids.